Good morning. I just woke up. It's currently 9 a.m. So good morning. Or afternoon or evening, whenever you see this. But it's not even 9 a.m. and God's got me feeling some type of way. So I woke up this morning and I was like, I'm gonna make a video today. And I had written out a whole thing. And also these are blue light glasses, not my real glasses. So if I take them off and you're like, whoa, she can see, that's why. But I woke up this morning and I was like, I'm gonna make a video. Let me scoot back a little bit. So I can lean against this. Yay, curtains. But I was like, I'm gonna make a video. I'm so excited. It's falling down. Made me nervous. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a video. And I was like, I know what I'm talking about. I wrote a little ditty last night. I feel so good about it. And rolled out of bed, brushed my teeth, came back into my room. I was about to start putting makeup on, and I didn't even do my hair. That's how convicted we're feeling this morning, right? So I was gonna start putting makeup on, and just this like overwhelming feeling to like set down my makeup brushes like came over me. And to be honest, I kind of cried a little bit because I almost felt guilty. I guess guilty's the right word. And I think I felt guilty because I wasn't putting makeup on for me, or because I was like, oh, like I just feel like I should put makeup on because like I haven't put makeup on in a couple days and I just want to. Like I was putting makeup on because I was like, okay, this is gonna go on the internet. And how silly, and I don't know if silly is even the right word, but like how insane is that, right? And part of that is because like I have this feeling, and I've told several people in my life about this, but like I have this feeling that like if I have to look like I have my life together before I put it on the internet. And I know I'm not the only person that feels this way. Also, this is my, when you see me as a reflection, this is my window. I have to open it so we can have some like natural light, right? We gotta have that A1 lighting. But anyways, I got distracted. That's why I had to say something. But I know I'm not the only person, but I know a lot of people have this like feeling that they have to have everything together before they publish it on the internet. We have to have the right filter on our Instagrams. We have to have the lighting just right, which it's gloomy outside today, so this isn't even really helping. It's just open, but also because I like to look outside. But we have to have all these things correct before we can push it out to the rest of the world and make ourselves look better, right? So, and I think we feel that way about Jesus a lot of times too. I'll get to that in a second. That's a later thought. I wrote bullet points this time. I'm actually gonna follow them. But yeah, so I woke up this morning and I was like, I'm gonna do a video, and this was not the video that I was gonna talk about. But because I felt really convicted, here we are, right? So while I'm sitting there crying because God was like calling me out, telling me no ma'am, all I could think about was that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. So why do I feel like I have to change any of that, right? Which that's found in Psalm 139, which we're gonna read. Whoa, what's this? Oh, sorry, I got distracted by my paperclip. What is that? It's not a paperclip. That's a sticky note. Just poking out a little bit. I need to see what it said. But anyways, so not a paperclip, it's a sticky note. Back on track. I have been turning to Psalms a lot recently because they bring me comfort. And the reason they bring me comfort is because to me, they are almost like a song. My dog is out there playing. She's real cute. But they're almost like a song. And as someone who feels really connected to Jesus in worship and in music, then these are something that really kind of resonate with me and make me feel a little something. I'm reading through Psalm 139 this morning because that's all I can think of when I'm not putting on my makeup. And here, also, check out my slippers. You can't see them. Whatever. I still have slippers on. I'm telling y'all, just rolled out of bed. Kind of some crazy hairs going on. We're looking great. Okay, so Psalm 139. And I'm actually going to read this whole thing because it's not super long, but it all kind of like to me this morning, right? So here we go. Psalm 139, and underneath it in like little italic letters it says, for the director of music of David, a psalm, which I was like, oh, that's kind of cool because I like music. So anyways, Psalm 139, verse 1. You have searched me, Lord, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways. Before the word, can't read apparently either. Before the word is on my tongue, you, Lord, know it completely. You hem me in behind and before, and you lay down your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too lofty for me to attain. Where can I go? This is verse 7. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me. Your right hand will hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness will hide me, and the light becomes night around me, even the darkness will not be dark to you. The night will shine like the day, for the darkness is light to you. Is as light. I'm sorry, I can't read. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book, before one of them came to be. How precious to me are your thoughts, God. How vast the sum of them. Were I to count them, they would outnumber the grains of sand. When I awake, I am still with you. If only you, God, would slay the wicked. Away from me, you who are bloodthirsty. They speak of you with evil intent. Your adversaries misuse your name. Do I not hate those who hate you, Lord? And abhor, is that how you say that? Abhor? It's really early. My brain is not fully here. Abhor those who are in rebellion against you. I have nothing but hatred for them. I count them my enemies. Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. Wow. Gosh, I love it. So, here's kind of where we're at. First little chunk. Literally, guys, like, God knows me. And I don't mean he knows me as my acquaintance or from afar, but like he knows me. Like literally. You know when I sit, when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar, like you're not right here, but you already know my thoughts. You know when I'm going out. You know when I'm laying down. God, you know when I'm at the bar. You know when I'm out running. You know when I'm out, when I'm doing the things that I love to do. You know that. Oh my gosh, I knocked my water over. That's what I get. I need to set up. I need to figure out like a desk situation. I'm getting too old for sitting on the floor. Anyway, so I'm choking. So he knows me, right? Like, and he knows my everything. And I can't run from him, literally. Where can I go from your spirit? Nowhere. You see me everywhere, which is so crazy to me, because there are times that, like, in my life that I have been like I know God sees me, but like, if I do it in secret, he can't. Or like if I'm sneaky enough. Okay, here's the deal. I think I'm sneaky. Like, even with my parents, I think I'm sneaky. I'm not sneaky. I'm the furthest thing from sneaky. I have a horrible poker face. Horrible. I tried to lie as a kid. I did. I really did. My mom knew better. So, how much more does my Father in heaven know better, right? Like, I'm not sneaky. I'm not a little trickster. I like pranks. Not good at sneakiness, okay? Moving on. I can't hide. God knows me. He knows where I'm at. 2, like, God, literally, God made me. And he sees me as beautiful. So I don't have to dress up. I don't have to present myself and make myself presentable before I jump on a video or before I post a picture to Instagram. Like, I probably am still going to do those things because they make me feel good when I do them. But I don't have to. And I definitely don't have to clean up before I go to Jesus, which that took me a long time. In my early years of college, wow, we're going to be really vulnerable in this. In my early years of college, I kind of strayed away from Jesus. In the gospel, I wanted to go be my own person, and my family had been very devout Christian growing up, and I felt really kind of almost like that, you know, like, of course the commandments are rules for us to live by, but I felt so like by them. In my early college days, I probably like my sophomore year, really. My freshman year, I got really sick, so I wasn't really doing a whole lot. My freshman year, I was just trying to stay alive, basically. But my sophomore year, I kind of was like, I'm grown, I'm on my own, I'm in an apartment by myself, and did not stay true to who I knew Jesus wanted me to be, and caught myself and was like, oh, Mylanta, Amanda, you got to get it together. This is not the life that God has in store for you. You are not meant to live in this way. And felt like I had to, like, get right before I could go back to Jesus and be like, hey, okay, sorry, I'm back. Please forgive me. And that's not the case. Jesus, first of all, he knows me. He knows all the sins that I committed. He knows all the things that I've done. So I don't have to clean up and go to him. He sees me as his gorgeous, beautiful, precious baby child, right? He loves me. There's no cleaning up for that. For those of you who have really loving parents, you know this. You mess it up and you go back to your mom and dad and you're like, yo, I did this. And yeah, for sure, they're disappointed because they want the best for you and they want you to live this life. That's great. But there's no having to clean it up before you go sit with them. And God's the same way. When you get yourself into some trouble, He tells us that we need to look to Him first and then go take care of all this stuff, because we can't do it on our own. We have to have Jesus in order to clean up our mess. Because if we could do it on our own, then what's the point of God? Right? Like, there is a point to God. Let's be clear in that. Like, we can't do it on our own. We just can't. Literally, like, you created my inmost being. God knows me literally from the inside. Not just like, not the stuff I put out to the world, right? Like, most people would describe me as loud, outgoing, personable. I've gotten intimidating before, which I was like, what? Intimidating? First of all, I'm just annoying, okay? Like, I'm just loud and obnoxious. I'm not really intimidating. But I've gotten that one. People can describe me. I have brown hair, blue eyes, paper, white. I really like to laugh. I like to have fun. I tend to be like the center of the party because I like to have a good time. I like to go dancing. I like to go do all these things, and people can tell me those things about me, but that's what I put on the outside. But God knows my innermost thoughts, those thoughts where I sit there and sometimes I'm like, God, I'm not good enough, or God, I'm so underqualified, or God, I'm so like not this and not that, and I don't know why you feel this way about me. And God also knows my inner thoughts of when I am not kind. And that kind of stings when I think about that, because there are definitely times that I jump and I am not the most kind person. Like, I will jump to judgmental things because I'm human and I'm a girl, and that's something that if you're not careful starts at a young age, and then it kind of just, oh my goodness, really is going crazy. But it's something that starts especially for women when we're young, because we look and we compare and all of these things, and then comparison, which is the thief of joy, one. We compare ourselves, and all of a sudden we start to see ourselves for less than what we are, when God sees us for everything that we are. Men, He sees you as handsome. You can also be beautiful, but we'll use the more masculine term because I feel like you would appreciate it. I also don't know how many men are going to watch these videos because I feel like these are a little more womanly focused because I'm a woman. But, guys, He sees y'all too. He sees all of us. I don't want to say like He doesn't. That sounds horrible. He sees us all. And He loves us. And He values us. And you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Fearfully in the Bible is not like scared. Fearfully is in awe. And I think that's something that also took me a long time to realize, that like being afraid of God, like living in fear of God, is not really living in fear of like, oh no. Fear God is like in awe of God. So if God made me fearfully, I don't think He's afraid of me. I think that He made me and then was in awe of His creation, called me wonderful, and then put me on earth. And how stinking sweet is that? Wow, that was just a realization that just came out of my mouth. That's not a thought that I've had for a long time. That is a just now thought. How sweet is that? That God looked at you and was like, oh, wow. Yeah, that's good. And then put you on earth. And then said, I'm still gonna love you no matter what you do. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. There's so much good stuff in this. So then it kind of goes into this and it says, if only you, God, would slay the wicked. Away from me, you who are bloodthirsty. They speak of you with evil intent. Your adversaries misuse your name. This is like a call out to, oh, my legs are going to sleep, y'all. I really am too old for all this shenanigans. Ugh, I need a, you know, like when you go to move your leg and it's completely numb and your slipper falls off? Just me? Well, that just happened. Not my most favorite feeling. They speak of you with ill intent. So this is like this idea that, like, why are we hanging out with people who don't love the Lord? Like, there is one thing of like hanging out with non-believers in the attempt to like have them become believers. Like, that's one thing. But it asks the question, do I not hate those who hate you, Lord? Do I not hate them? Or do I hate them? What would you rather from me? I gotta look up this word. I don't know what it means. Abhor. I don't even know how to say it. I'm gonna have to figure out how to say it too. And it means regard with disgust and hatred. Oh, that's good. It's good verbiage. Do I not hate those who hate you, Lord? And do I not regard with disgust and hatred those who are in rebellion against you? Oh, that's good. And it literally goes on and it says, I have nothing but hatred for them. I count them as my enemies. Those who hate the Lord are not our friends. They're not the people that we need to have meaningful relationship with. God calls us to be in meaningful relationship with those who are like-minded, those where we are evenly yoked. And then it goes on and it says, search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me and lead me in the way of everlasting life. Search me, God, and know my heart. God knows my heart. If I'm asking God to search my heart, He knows my heart. He knows my struggles. He knows my internal thoughts. And He knows it all. And I ask Him in this, David, if there's any offensive way in me, lead me in the way of everlasting. So this thing of like, do I hate those who hate you? He's like, God, but search me. Make sure I am not that person. Make sure I am not bringing offense to you. Make sure I am walking in the way that leads to everlasting life. Like, make sure that I am not in my own way. So, I think people kind of leave out parts of Psalms and scriptures, and I really don't like that, so I like to tackle the whole thing. But I wish I had done a little more looking into that, because this part of, like, I have nothing but hatred, and I count them as my enemies, is hard for me. So I don't want to hate people. I want to love them. Because I know that God is love. So I'm going to have to do some digging. I wonder if I can do that right now. I'll chop it into the video. Saying the word hate, basically. The word hate here is understood in the sense that He disapproves of their conduct and that He doesn't want to be associated with them. And He kind of wants to avoid them. And He wants to be a man of different character. And And then it talks about, if I have nothing but hatred for them, I count them as my enemies. And really, hatred here is grief. So normally hate is this idea of like ill will, and like hate is not really like a word with good association, right? So with this, he's talking about not necessarily anger, but grief. Grieved for the hardness of their hearts, this idea that they won't allow God into their hearts. And so, but really it's just this idea of grief, pain, and sorrow, that people should even have those kinds of feelings toward God, like their maker. Like he's talking about the fact that God made me and he knows me, but I feel bad for these people who don't know that. And I think that makes me feel a little better, because he doesn't like hate their guts. He's not like, bye. But he's like, oh, God, like, I have nothing but grief and pain and sorrow, that they would have these feelings towards you as God. Which honestly kind of breaks my heart too, that we still in this life have people who don't know who Jesus is, who don't know the goodness of God. And we gosh, it makes me feel sad, and I don't like it. But yeah, so then at the end, David is like, God, check me, check my heart, make sure my heart's in the right place, so that I can still be walking in the way that leads to everlasting life. So yeah, that is Psalm 139. I think it's important that we continue to remember that it doesn't matter if you wake up every day and you do a full face of makeup and you do your hair, because it makes you feel good. As long as you're not using that as a way of hiding, or as a way of feeling like you have to have it together every day, because you don't have to have it together every day. You totally can walk around not together, and that's okay. And God's still gonna love you. You can have crazy wispies going out like this, totally great. God's still gonna love you. God's still gonna see you as beautiful and loved and worthy. Shoot, I mean, literally God sees us as worthy enough that he sent his son, his one and only son, to die on the cross to save us from our sins, those sins that he already sees and doesn't expect us to clean up before we come back to him. God sees my sin. My sin is what put Jesus on the cross. And he sees them and he knows them. And he still loves me. And he doesn't expect me to have it all together. He doesn't expect me to pull it together and then turn to him. He expects me to turn to him and say, check my heart, so that he can go and take care of it, because I can't do it alone. So anyways, that's my thoughts. I pray that you will know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are beautiful, handsome, gorgeous, worthy, all of that in the sight of God. You do not have to clean up your life before you go to him. You just have to go and tell him, hey, yo, what's up? Help a girl out or help a guy out. Like, you just have to go. And then be willing for him to check your heart and be willing to feel convicted of stuff that you probably won't feel very good. Actually, let me tell you what, it won't feel good. It doesn't feel good to be feeling convicted. Like, I really just can't get over how far out these are sticking out. Anyway, it doesn't feel good to be convicted or feel convicted of the things that you're doing in your life. It doesn't feel good because you know in your gut it's not what you're supposed to be doing. So, let Jesus handle it. That's why he died on the cross. So when we come to God with our sins, that we're forgiven and we can still spend eternity in heaven with him after we've accepted God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit into our hearts and lives. But yeah, happy 157,000th day of quarantine, and you got this. I don't think I have anything else to say, so love y'all. Peace.